Good morning, beautiful being. She says, just remembering to start the timer. And it was funny because I was kind of ready to go live a few minutes ago. And then, there were various things that needed doing. And while I was doing those, this very unfamiliar noise came roaring out of my cell phone, this phone. And there's been 4 cases of the virus have been discovered in Auckland, New Zealand, so there's been a change in our alert level. The rest of us are now at level 2, and so there was this big long message that was telling me all about it, and I'm thinking how wonderful that I was not live at that time. I mean, it might have been organised so it didn't override, but maybe not. So here we are. Good morning, beautiful people. And you can see the chair I'm sitting on is higher than it used to be. I've got to reorganise my little support for my phone. But meanwhile, we're inside because there's a cold wind out. Good morning, Lucy. And we got rocks, right? We got big rocks. This is my 7-kilogram weight. Isn't it beautiful? Polished quartz from China, not Brazil, which is often where quartz comes from, but by no means the only place. Good morning, Nora. Good morning, everybody. I can't always tell who you are. So we just got this big fella with us today. It is like not a small baby. It's a very heavy baby. And it's full of interest and different things, and I like that. I like that it's not perfect. I'm guessing that it was probably pretty rough. I mean, the bottom's been cut off, so it sits on something. But you can see this piece of the outside was all covered in this brown stuff, which is probably some kind of iron. Good morning, Di. Thank you. Janine, good morning. Well, yeah, that's kind of nice. But I tell you, Janine, it's heavy. And so I enjoy being able to show it off because after a while you look at it and think, well, that's lovely. And then you think, now what do I do with it? Good morning, Linda. So it's nice to share these things. And I'm going to put it down now because it's heavy. And this is the other piece of quartz I want to share with you today. This is from the Orange River in South Africa. And I love it. I just really love this. My friend Jenny gave this to me. She just sort of picked it up and said, oh, this one wants to go with you. Yeah, Janine, it's about 7 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, but it must be at least 15. Because there's 2 and a bit pounds per kilo, so probably more like 17 pounds if you're in the States or somewhere that uses imperial metrics, imperial measurements. So, yeah, it's heavy. That's a big point, Linda. This one, much smaller, but I love the detail in it. This hematite is the red. Hematite, bloodstone, right? But it's an celestial, so you've got this sort of milky, smoky, it's not smoky, milky quartz over the top, and it's kind of shattered, and you can see how it's grown, there's layers inside, and I have forgotten how, but if you catch the light on it, just somewhere you can see right in the middle of the piece, there's actually a little amethyst. Can't see it from the outside, and you have to hold the crystal just right so that the light comes through. I think it's one of these points. There's just a little bit of purple in the middle. So it's fabulous. I'm really fond of this piece. And it's got all these really shiny, just slightly textured surfaces that quartz can have. And then it's got sort of skeletal pieces, and you just turn it over and over and there's always something to see. So there you are. Those are our rocks for today. And talking about love, picking up where we left off yesterday, and I just love your comments. I appreciate your comments, your thoughts, your questions, the stuff that's going on for you or whatever. It's great because it feeds our conversation. And one of the comments that one of you made, actually on Monday's live, was about loving too much. Hi, Jen. Morning, gorgeous. Loving too much and giving too much love and not getting enough back, and and we were talking about. And I made a statement yesterday about, if love is not enough, then you haven't experienced love. And the piece that I didn't quite realise at the time is that you may have loved enormously and given a lot of love. But if you find yourself saying love is not enough, then you probably haven't really experienced receiving love. So there's an important distinction to make, because many of us have huge hearts, and we want to love, and we want people to love on, and we want people to love on us. And, it all seems to go in one way. So I want to talk about that problem because I know that happens a lot. And, my solution to that problem is, of course, to stop looking for anybody else to love me. To stop looking outside of myself for love, because everybody's got their own shit going on. And I've said it already this week, and I'll say it again. If I'm needing love, if I'm looking for love, then I am in a space of need and seeking and wanting. I don't have it. And so just in terms of like attracting like, if I'm in a space of need and not having love and not feeling loved, it is most likely that I'm going to attract somebody else or situations or, whatever that are more of the same. More of, I need love and I don't feel it and it's not happening for me. So to go looking for love from a place of needing love is kind of setting you up for not having the love you want. Roberta, good morning, sweetie. And that's, it's a really vicious cycle. It's a really vicious circle, and it's self-perpetuating. But because we need and want and desire as humans to connect with love so much, it's very easy for us to just keep doing this. It's the proverbial brick wall. You bang your head on the brick wall, you say that hurts, but I want what's on the other side of the brick wall, and I don't have a sledgehammer, so the heaviest thing I've got is my head, and so you keep going. And it just isn't very helpful. So to break that cycle of continuing to give love in the hope that it will be given back to you. Yeah, and it's kind of two distinct functions. Well, it's two distinct experiences. I don't know, actually, that the functions are separate. There's a really interesting point you raise, Linda. Because I know for myself that my capacity to receive love is pretty much hooked up somehow with my capacity to give it. And that's interesting because, I just said before, you may have massively given as much love as you knew how to give in being the situation of being a parent or, looking after someone that you really care about. And that can go completely unreciprocated because of where that person's at. Everyone's got their shit. So how do those two match up? And right now I'm scratching my head. Hopefully we'll figure something out before we go, or I'll go away and think about it some more. And I guess the real question that we're asking is, if your ability to give love and your ability to receive love are related somehow, and I've always said that they are, so now I'm thinking, are they? Is it possible that we can be giving love from a space of something other than love? So, and this is like, what? What did you just say? And I'm thinking, what the hell did I just say? So let me paint a picture. Let's explore this, because this directly relates to this thing of looking to other people for love and needing other people to love us. If you have grown up in a family situation, because that's the early program, right? The first 7 years, you've got no analytical mind to look around and say, these people are crazy, they don't love me, this is not what love is, right? If you grow up in a family situation where love is conditional and love has to be earned and love is unpredictable, right? Love being the ability to, stay in the house and occasionally be smiled at or given a compliment or whatever. But to do that, you have to bend over backwards. It has to hurt, or that's not love. But as a child, as a small evolving consciousness, I just said, honey, you don't know that. You think that's love. So already you are programmed to give and give and give and receive just a little bit. And you think that's what love is. So now, and this is a typical thing, it doesn't happen for everybody, but it's fairly typical for people like that to either, when they grow up and become parents themselves, vast generalizations here, okay? Just make sure I'm saying that. They will either be really unconscious and repeat the same pattern, or they will think, I don't want to be like that. It was horrible. I didn't, lack unlovedness, blah, blah, blah. I had to work really hard just to sort of emotionally survive, shut my heart, protect myself, all of that. And that's all subconsciously still programmed as this is what love is. But consciously you're saying, I don't want to be like that. So you can flip to the other extreme and say, okay, I'm just going to love so much that of course my children are going to love me back. I don't want them to feel like I felt, so I'm going to love so much that it's going to, And sometimes that works out. But sometimes what happens is that you find that you're needy or you're clingy or you're demanding or you're actually saying, I'm loving you so much, why the hell aren't you loving me back? And before you know it, it's kind of like whoever it was that patterned your experience of love is talking out of your mouth and behaving inside your body. You think, who the hell am I now? So it's, we have the experience and we consciously want to change it, but subconsciously and unconsciously, the programming is in there that says this is what love means. And it's needy and it's demanding and it's controlling and it's coercing. And you're trying consciously to do and be something else, but that program's still running. And there's a conflict between the two. And so you're giving and giving and giving and giving. And all the time the program is saying you give a lot and you get very little. Or you have to fight for love. Or you have to make people love you. Or more likely, frankly, nobody loves me. I just have to get by on crumbs while everybody else eats a 3-course meal. And I wrote that yesterday. Because that was kind of how it felt for me. And by the way, I didn't even realise, I didn't understand this for so long, decades of my life, that, I was just working really, really hard. And it was normal that I would work really hard and it would be very difficult. And there would just be little crumbs of acceptance or something for me, or not even that really, abuse. I remember this from when I was, in my late teens. Because that was what I thought it was. I married a man, my first husband, with no idea what marriage should look like, which is crazy because, my parents were okay. They didn't, well, I don't know. I think they did probably argue when I was young because they were newly married, relatively speaking. I just had no idea that it was supposed to be nice. No clue that it was supposed to be easy or enjoyable. This young chap that I got engaged to, thank God I didn't marry him. The young man I did marry, equally unsuitable, just kinda, which was nice. 7 years later, long story short, I connected with my soulmate, and we, however long, I've lost track. It's been a long time. I have to count the years. It's been beautiful, wonderful, amazing. And, I still had no idea what love was then, but there was a connection and we sort of grew together. So we get programmed to look to others to make us feel whole, to make us feel good, and they can't do it because the unconscious programming that is wired in your brain and probably programmed into your chemistry and is so accustomed to you that love is hard and difficult and painful, you're not even aware of it. You just think it's normal. I sure did. Andrea, great to see you. I did. I had no idea that relationships were supposed to be easy and fun and nice and enjoyable most of the time. Really, no idea. Obviously, I didn't see it modelled. All I saw was difficulty. I don't remember, really. So, we have all this conditioning. We have this programming. We have these automatic, assumed, unconscious ways of seeing and perceiving the world, and we don't even realise that it's just normal for us to think that love is going to hurt, that it's going to be difficult, and we have to bust ourselves wide open to receive anything. And so my response to that is, if this is actually how you find that you feel, you really don't know what it's like to feel loved by somebody else. Or maybe you have, but you've really forgotten because it's not the norm for you. The norm for you is, you feel this lack, this great desire for connection and recognition and being held and feeling safe and all of that stuff. And if that's the case, if that's where you're at, then your resonant match, without you making some kind of intervention in your mind and your body and creating yourself differently, is going to be more of that. Just like, oh shit, I don't want that. And so often it's not just safest, it's actually most efficient But it's challenging because you've got to let go of the need for other people to love you. And that's hard because we're programmed with the idea that your family will always be there for you. Your family will recognize you and love you and see you and care for you more than anybody else. And it's just not true. It isn't true. I'm so grateful for my family. I so appreciate them for being sane. But there is no way that they see me and love me and care for me more than anybody else. We're not that kind of family. It took me a very long time to get comfortable with that. Just isn't like that. But it used to eat me up inside that it was. You know, I was like, we're not playing happy families. Hey, deal with it, Maddie. Stop needing what you can't have because it's not there. Because they have their own shit, remember? And they're not capable of relating to you the way you want to. So stop needing that. And you got to let it go. And you got to grieve. And you got to be angry. And, and I was all of that stuff for a long time because I didn't really understand what was going on in me. But you got to let go of all the people you think should love you, that you want to love you, that you really think they'd be the person. You got to let that go. And you've got to go through the grieving process of doing so. It can be very, very painful to let go of all those expectations and what people should do and be for me. And you say, okay, I got to love myself. And you suddenly realise how much you don't like that idea because all that conditioning and all that programming has really told you at a very deep level, you're not worthy of love. You don't deserve it. You're not good enough. You're only worthy to have the crumbs of love that fall from my table when I feel like even noticing you. That's, you suddenly realize, oh my God, this is how I really feel. I have to confront those feelings now. I got to do this. And every time I keep thinking, oh, I want that person to, I want my parents to love me. I want my siblings to love me. I want my children to love me. I want my family to love me, which is often the greatest pain, to let go of that. It's like, well, they're not. They don't. They might never be able to. But sure as heck, if I can't deeply, truly stay in love with myself, there's no way I'm going to let more love into my life. Because I'm going to still be in, I need love, I want love, therefore, QED, I don't have love. And so I'm in lack again. And I can only have more lack. I'm just being lack of love. And it's a real, it's like you got to take one head off, put it over there, put another one on. This head over here is the one that says everybody else should love me so I can feel whole. And this one that you're putting on here says I got to love me so until I feel whole. And then when I feel whole, other people are going to come into my space that love me whole, not love me broken. Because you want to be whole together rather than broken together, It's kind of, it's not what you want to hear, I think. And I know we're always playing with this, but this is the thing I wanted to really talk about today because, it's not popular that your family might not be the all-consuming source of love. Some people have amazing families like that and many people don't. And it's okay. It's just what happens. Let's create love ourselves. So let's do that for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Because, we might as well. Let's shift our attention off what we don't have and put it on what we do have. And we have this huge wellspring of love available inside ourselves. So, you see, it's automatic for me. I put my hands over my heart centre. Put your awareness there. Really, about this far behind that bone. It holds all your ribs together and protects your heart. Put your awareness inside the centre of your chest. Close your eyes if you wish. And breathe. Just breathe in and out of there. And words, thoughts, things I want, things I don't have. You can acknowledge those, but put your attention in the centre of your chest and breathe in. Just slowly, slow your breath. Breathe in and hold it for a little bit. And then as you breathe out slowly. Breathe out slowly and just see how long you can make that out breath last. And as you let go, let your body relax. You can take another breath. Let go. Let your body relax. And the thought of letting go of the people, the shoulds, the I wants, the I needs, divesting yourself of all of that lack, just letting go of it, just with the breath. As you let go of the breath, you let go of your need. And it can be like, a sticky octopus that's trying to hang on to you. It's like, no, I'm letting you go, I'm letting you go, I'm letting you go. The tension in my heart, just putting it there. The tension in my heart. Let your breath go. Just let go. And slow your breath. And as you breathe in and breathe out, well, you can play. You can imagine warmth. Just something warm, like a warm light or a fire or a hot water bottle. Something that's cuddly and cozy. Maybe a beautiful sunrise, maybe a beautiful flower. But something that you can hold in there. It's nothing to do with anyone except you. And just put your attention on it. This beautiful thing which is yours to hold in your heart. And as you breathe into it, if you wish, you can allow it to grow a little bigger. Let it fill some of the space around you. See, we're just letting it grow. This is your love now. What you're choosing to make beautiful and whole and love for you. Just let it expand to fill the space around you. So you're inside it now. And just stay there and breathe for a moment. I can feel you doing it. It's all right, your brain's going to wander. We're doing this so fast. Let's just bring it back. Put your attention on this thing that you're now inside. And realize that you're beginning to explore your own love. Just let it be. Stay with it. Pay attention to it. Pay more attention to it. Let your attention really rest on this. That's all you have to do. That's all we've got time for right now. But that's how it works. See? You can change your state. Put your attention in your heart. Grow something beautiful inside you. You practice that. You practice connecting. It's yours. No one can take it away. Big love. I'll see you tomorrow.